Hi, my name is Jolie and welcome to this series of mindful conversations. Today we are focusing on the difference between Qi and Prana, or is there a difference at all? And learning about energy is a very important part of lifestyle. These days with our chaotic lifestyle and nothing is going to slow down, we've got to learn about our energy in the body so that we get to learn to slow down and focus on what truly matters. And so my name is Jolie again, and I have been conducting Wellbeing sessions since 2003, I think. It's been a long time. So I started off with art and art therapeutic exercises to mindful movements, and then slowly on to meditation and mindfulness, learning about how to tame the mind. And here I have my Shifu, who is focusing on a lot of Qigong and Taijigong. And so when I learned from him, I understood a little bit more about how energy is a vitality for health, and it also builds immunity, and also for me as a woman, builds a sense of self-defense, the understanding of balancing the yin and the yang. So let me pass you over to Shifu.
Thank you, Jolie. So my name is Sim Pern Yiau. I'm a Taiji Shifu, Taiji teacher, and mainly I teach Taiji, but my interest also extends to healing. And Taiji, essentially the full term is Taijigong, which means practice. Taiji is a kind of yin-yang. So yin-yang of what? Yin-yang of energies, yin-yang of qi. So I guess, Jolie is very kind to call me her Shifu. I have, in a few years ago, given her some tips and some classes, but I think a lot of her own learning and her own growth is her own. And I think we haven't seen each other for a long time actually. So she's invited me here to share, and today I'm also here to find out about Prana, Jolie's practice, and also to share about my practice of Qi and Taiji, body's energy, and how we can support people these days during the COVID times with these concepts. Yeah. Jolie?
Yeah, I think Shifu, you said it very well. I think understanding, the practices, different practices, all paths lead the same way. And it's all about learning about building a better health, lifestyle, understanding the balance of the emotions, the mental state, the physical body, and in prana, what we talk about in the yoga, it's all about being aware, self-awareness of the mind and the body and the spirit, or you can call it the heart, where it's emotional, or the soul itself. It brings you life, brings you a passion to feel happy or contented or at peace. So I'm going to go through some mindfulness tips now, or exercise, and whoever is watching this, I would like you to take a cushion under you, or if you're sitting on a chair, just make sure that your feet is on the ground, both feet on the ground. And if you're on a cushion, just sit on the tip of the cushion and not in the center, because if you sit in the center, you're like, it tends to round the back. So sit on the tip of the bolster or the pillow or the cushion or anything that brings you a little bit of height, and let your pelvis tilt forward. Allow your knees to drop down. Place your palms facing down on your thighs. And just notice the tip of your nose. Notice the temples. Feel the breath and follow the breath. And in this part, notice sensations in the body. Notice your thoughts. Notice your environment, the sounds. See if you could spy with your mind's eye the sounds, the sensations, Maybe noticing taste in your mouth, noticing how your body feels today, noticing how your shoulder feels. Start to feel more weight on your sit bones and allow your sit bones to sink down heavily. Allow your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, toes completely to relax down into the ground. Feel the ground supporting your entire body. Now from the earth, rooting down. Allow your bones to be heavier and follow your breath. Just bring a little bit of curiosity to follow the breath, shifting from the external world, and notice how you feel inside. Notice your skin and the air in your skin. Perhaps noticing how the clothes feel on your body. And from the root down, from the earth, think about breathing in, feeling the rising breath from the sit bones, gently rising all the way up, rising all the way up to every vertebrae of the spine. Bring a lift into your chest gently. Imagine a smile across the shoulders. Relax the notch of your throat, the jaw. Notice where your lips touch and your eyelids touch your skin. And feel like a little lift on the crown of the head. And now let's take a nice exhalation, nice and slow, very easy and natural exhalation. As you feel still the top of the crown lifted, soften down the shoulders. I like to visualize like two white birds, like two doves, flying closer towards you, landing on each of the shoulder. And you feel your shoulders relaxed. You breathe in between your rib cage on the back. And you bring it over to the front where your collarbones are, in between the rib cage, all the way down to the belly, down to the tailbone, sacrum, groin, and stay there for a moment, almost accumulating more awareness around the groin, hips, tailbone, and then breathe it in again. This time taking a cleansing inhalation all the way up, and feel the body lengthening and opening, the breath longer and deeper, fuller. And perhaps holding the breath for a moment, noticing the pause and quieten down the thoughts. Notice like you are spying your perceptions. And then release the breath gently, softening any grip or tightness around the joints, around the jaw, around your eyelids. Stop thinking and start feeling. Feeling the skin, feeling the fingertips, the toes, feeling the flow of your breath rising and falling. Breathing into the sides of the body, front and back, noticing the spine and how it feels, noticing the muscles, noticing your face lifting, and gently relaxing all the way down to the ground, really feeling like the ground is supporting you and you're rooting down. So let your thoughts just gently find a pause as you notice, like the thoughts in the sky forming clouds. As you form the clouds, the thoughts in the mind, start to view and look for the blue sky, the clear blue sky. And with the clear blue sky, you start to focus on the vastness of the sky. With the vastness of the sky, notice thoughts passing by, and you start to bring in a sense of awareness. Breathe into your chest and visualize like a sun rising every day with no complaints, all the rays in all directions, shining in your chest in all different directions. And stay here for a moment. Place one hand on your chest and the other hand on the belly. Feel the contact of your hands onto your body. Breathing into the belly, onto the hand. Breathing out, your hand that's holding the belly softens the belly. Breathing in, the breath rises up to the chest, the heart, where it touches onto the hand, the top hand. And breathing out, the top hand softens into the chest, softening any tension or tightness around this area. Let's repeat that again. As you inhale, breathe from the belly up to the chest, holding that space for yourself. And as you breathe out, feel this anchor, feel this hug inside as you gently soften any tension and find more ease and flow. Both hands into the chest. And make this intention of your day or the night, whatever time or day that you're feeling present here and now, just focusing inwards, the flow of your breath, your spine, how you feel, what your thoughts are, whatever pain in the body, you can gently ease it away by pausing, observing, and letting the space around you and the ground and the light within you gently ease away those tensions, this pain, the grip. Just learn to let go and then fill it in with your awareness, with your inhalation, with your awareness, your attention, and bring in this gentle care and love within yourself. If you're closing your eyes, gently open them. So notice the shapes around you, notice the colors around you, notice light coming into the eyes. Almost feeling the tingling sensation around the body. Lift the corners of your lips. Bring a smile across the chest. Alright, so that's a gentle mindfulness practice that you can always do. It takes about 5 minutes, maybe more if you want to. But it's almost like scanning your body, how you feel, what you're thinking, quieting them, finding your intentions for what you're wanting to do, and then clearing that, and then finding a nice purpose. The heart, for myself, I think it's a very powerful, giving space. It's like the sun, it's unconditional. And when you think about this space here, the courage to lead, the courage to lift off any kind of weight, then you feel a lot more spaciousness, a lot lighter, and a lot more freedom to express, to speak with the kindness and the love that all humans want. All humans want is the sense of contentment, the sense of affection. That's where we feel like we could really lead the way with more purpose. Okay, so understanding that is a very simple way of also understanding prana. Now I'm going to pass it on to Shifu.
Shifu don't want to work now because that was very comfortable and settles me down. So can we stop the session here? I'm kidding.
Yeah, we should sleep now and always,
Yeah, I just want to say that, I even find my voice change already through that exercise. I think that was a wonderful exercise. It looks, before I go on to my thing, I would like to just take what you've given and stay with it a little while. So that's why I'm talking about it.
Thank you.
Pardon. I think that some things like this is deceptively simple. Sometimes when people look at videos like this, we're looking for tips, especially in these very difficult times for everyone. And when we look for tips and we look for things to do to help us to connect ourselves, sometimes we can look very externally. But I think what Jolie has given us is to say that, look, actually some of these are balm and this solace, and not just solace, but this energy and these solutions that you can give to yourself in these stressful times can be something as simple as just that. So Jolie, when you were guiding, you were not just guiding us, actually you were guiding yourself. So she was in a very clear place, and she had the ability to guide herself doing those things. It's just that you were my experience of it was just that you were speaking aloud what you were doing for yourself, right? So then that speaking aloud became a guide. It's not that you were out of it and just telling us what to do. So my main takeaway from this is that we all can learn that. That is that we all can learn just to sit and guide ourselves. And it is, like I say, it's deceptively simple, but it is full of wisdom. Most importantly, it is nothing technically difficult. If we remember that, sit with yourself, feel every portion of yourself. As you feel yourself, you start to give it positive qualities, right? So I might be oversimplifying what you're doing.
No, not at all. I think it's really important to learn to relate. And to really not just be, not let the ego, not let the mind trick you into being too technical sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
That is what I really got from that very, like I said, I keep having this feeling, this deceptively simple exercise. At the end of it, or within it, as during the duration of it, my body was really settling. But many people think of this kind of meditative settling as, making you sleepwalk, dulling the mind. But if you have been following what Jolie was doing just now, you realize that you become awake, you become alert, and yet within this alertness, there is a calmness and a focus and a gathering, a gathering back of yourself. And then from this gathering of ourselves, there is a gathering with the environment, because she went on to expand to the clear blue sky, the earth. In a way, those are just like the qualities in us, but it's out there as well. So I must say, Jolie, to me, that was an excellent guiding. And my takeaway, and I hope that everybody can take away from that as well, is that we all can learn to guide ourselves like that. You might not be as experienced and as in-depth as Jolie. And you might not flow as well. Because what you had just now was an unbroken flow. Even as you were doing it for yourself and being mindful of having to do it for us, to us, yet there was no gap, you know. So in Taijigong, we have this phrase called 绵绵不断. 绵绵不断 means like cotton, 棉花的棉, like cotton, something that looks insubstantial, something that is not there like air, but actually it permeates throughout, right? It goes on, it is unbroken. So that gave me a very nice sense just now of this 绵绵不断, you know? Yeah, of this 绵绵不断. Something that doesn't look like a concrete wall, it looks insubstantial, but actually is permeating and continuous. So this awareness that she was guiding, that was that permeates. I think we might not be able to do it at that level, but I think what she's given us is to tell us to just sit down ourselves, feel each part of us, right? And then acknowledgement, and then link it to positive qualities. That is, if I may, from here, then link up to the Taiji, link up to the Qigong. This awareness is exactly what I think there's a lot of links between the Prana work that Jolie has introduced today and the Qigong and the Taijigong, Taiji Qigong that I'm familiar with, chief of which is awareness. And when we want to have awareness, then we ask ourselves, what do we want to be aware of, right? So from the Taiji and Qigong's point of view, there are three aspects of our being. That's why we call this kind of practices holistic. On one hand, whole, ourselves as whole. And these three parts generally are our body, mind, and energy. I think different systems might choose different words differently. For example, some might say body, mind, spirit. We say body, mind, energy, or qi, you know. And some might say consciousness, soul. I think it relates to these three inescapable aspects of ourselves, right? We have a mental, emotional being. We have a physical being. And what underlies them both is energy. The body is a kind of energy. The mind and emotions are energy, and then there is this pure energy that runs through our body that supports these two. So this awareness work, I think what I can give now is to continue from this awareness work, because not only did you give us an awareness of the physical body parts already, you're already telling us to be aware of how we are feeling as we are going through each part. And from there, I can lead on or to share Taiji's knowledge or traditional or holistic practices knowledge, which is that our body, our physical body, of course, carries the other energies, carries the mental, the emotional, and the energetic, the pure energies. And today, we're going to just do a little bit on the organs. Our organs are spaces that carry a lot of energy. They are functions. Functions carry a lot of thoughts, right? So during this difficult period, a lot of emotions, thoughts, worries, fears, planning, uncertainties, I think are constantly causing through us. Now, I think everybody has heard the term before, emotion is energy in motion. So when things are in motion, that means they flow, they don't get stuck. And flowing at the right pace, not too hurried, not too slow, that itself is a kind of health. When emotions get stuck, then it builds and then problems come. Emotions per se are not problems, right? Fears, worries are natural. If we don't have those, we're not human. The thing is, the point is how to let them flow, come and go, and not get stuck. So we won't have time to go through every organ and its related emotions or related thought functions. So we work at them generally and then think about how to just make them move, right? Make the energies in these organs move. And therefore, indirectly, we will be preventing too much gatherings or blockages in our system on a day-to-day basis. Okay? So for that, I'll have to stand and do that. If you're at home, again, if you have a space, please do stand with us too, okay, and enjoy this. But as you're doing this, I would like you to not think of this as a separate exercise from what Jolie has given us, to think of it as a continuation of that awareness that she has given us. Okay, so with that continuation, even when you're standing, remember your spine that she has guided us really. Remember that the legs and the feeling of your sit bone. Transfer the feeling of your sit bone just that we used just now to now the feeling of the feet on the floor, right? So that's your support. And your spine still lengthened to the clear blue sky. And then the smile that she was mentioning in the chest, right? In the chest and in the back. Okay, now just place your hands on the lower part of your body. We will divide this trunk, okay, this trunk into 3 large segments following the TCM classification of our organs and organ systems. We have what is called the sanjiao, okay? So the lower, the middle, and the upper, we'll just use this loosely to look at the trunk in the 3 levels. So place our hands here, and you know that in the lower portion, you have first just be aware of what are the organs you have inside, right? Now, just think about your private reproductive organs. And if you know their functions, think about that. Then your bladder. Be aware of your bladder and think about what it does for you every day. Then, pull your hands out a little bit, spread out that area of touch, and think about your intestines, your digestions, your absorptions, and what that organ has been doing for you day in, day out for your entire life. Every day we use them in the background, but we do not acknowledge them. So now this is a time to acknowledge what they do. And then now move to the large intestines at the back, like this, right? Right? Our intestines, even where in our rectum, where we do our big business, where we do our poo-poos, that's a very important aspect of us. Clearance, right? And what we clear, it's given back out to nature. Right? So think about that. Acknowledging what your organ has been doing for you day in, day out. And also think about the tensions that might be in them throughout the day, throughout the nights when you dream, and also in these difficult times for everyone, right? Good. And then now just move slightly up a little bit to your kidneys. So many people these days have kidney issues, right? Think about what we have been doing for them, overloading them, asking them to work and process every day. Process our waters, process our liquids, process our blood. As we all know, 70% of us is liquid. So we have not been acknowledging that part of our cells that processes 70% of our cells. Just give it some acknowledgement, give it some thanks. Then just gently and kindly shift to your liver. The liver, another important processing place, right? Processes what? Our toxins, poisons. Actually, what are toxins and poisons? But just negative stuff that we bring into ourselves. We are always encountering them. You cannot shut your mind, your doors, your energies, your body to the world. You cannot shut yourselves up in a hole. So therefore, when you're encountering the world, you encounter a lot of negativity. That's fine, that's fine. That's part of life. Because we have ability to process it. So thank your organ that processes this every day. Your liver. And then remembering the liver, and then just moving on to the stomach. Right? Stomach, your absorption, your digestion, stomach, intestines, right? With just now your intestines, your absorption, your digestions, what you take in, especially now. So much information, different people telling you different things about what's right, what's wrong, whether vaccines save you or not, how should we live our lives, so on and so forth, so many things, right? All this you have to digest. It's not easy digesting. The mind, the emotions get overloaded. So does your stomach. Your spleen. Again, quietly do those mental process to yourself, right? Your spleen helps your immunity, helps your digestion, clears your blood cells, clears your dead blood cells, rejuvenates you. Your pancreas. Pancreas is an organ we don't think about most of the times, right? When you need to rush to the toilet, you remember your bladder reminds you of its existence, so does your stomach. When you feel excited or worried, you remember your heart, your lungs. But who remembers the poor pancreas, right? So think about the poor pancreas, hidden in one of the most inner places. And what it does for your stomach, for your liver. The pancreas is an agent. It's not like obvious, like the heart, like the lungs, working in the front lines, you know. So it works in the back room. So sometimes we forget about it. It makes other organs work better, basically. So let's not forget it. And your lungs. So when you put your hand on your lungs, right, you can place like this or this way. By this time, if you have been with yourself continuously, the hands never moving, never leaving from your body, you'll probably by now feel your hands very warm on your lungs, right? So already by your mental movement, mental engagement with each of your organs, you have already actually, through your hands and your meridian lines in your arms, starting to move qi without you thinking directly. You will know it because the hands by now should be actually feeling very warm against your own lungs, against your skin. Without you doing anything physically rigorous, if you're feeling, oh, my hands by now are warm, that means your inner channels have already been flowing. So remember your lungs, the lungs taking in energies, taking in oxygen, giving you power. That's the importance of the lungs. And without this oxygen, nothing transports in the body, right? So that's what your lungs do. The main center from which everything comes in, and then from there, transports out into the rest of the body. Transports your energies. And then finally, but as they say, last but not least, very important, your heart. Your heart is what you love. What most engages you. It can be something that involves in your work, your missions. It can be something you love doing. It can be persons, people, society. It can be yourself. Without knowing what most engages you, that means what you love most, you will have no drive. The heart is drive. The heart is a battery. So the battery only works, only powers you, only gives you strong drive if you find out what you really love and be engaged in that. So that's the heart. So again, acknowledge the heart and how it has been helping you, powering you daily. And then now we're going to repeat the process, but this time not just remembering what it gives to you, what it does for you, acknowledging that it's there, but also knowing that every day stuff, negative stuff, or just emotions, or just stresses, or just things it has to deal with, comes in and out of the organs every day. So we go back to the bladder. And just knowing, even if it doesn't say so, knowing that everybody has stresses, even if it doesn't tell you. So now, think of these stresses from the bladder released. Think of like a sponge. Imagine that you're clenching a good, a sponge that we use to wash our everyday dishes, a new nice sponge. When you clench your fist around it, the whole sponge is squashed. But when you release your hand around it, the sponge doesn't stay collapsed. It relaxes back to its original firmed up, free shape and size. So true relaxation makes us bigger, firmer, not weaker. So just plant that idea, stop clenching your organ, and watch it actually open up again firmer. And when that sponge opens up, you realize that it is not solid. It has a lot of space within it. That's why it can carry so much water, right? And that's what we are. We are spacious when we open and release. When you are relaxed, number one, you become firmer and stronger. But number two, within that firmness and strength is spaciousness. So think about your organ like that. And whatever dirty stuff, well, dirty stuff is not bad stuff, yeah? Like your poo-poo is just nutrients for the earth. So it's just something that you don't need now. You just need to give it out, right? So imagine that stuff, that qi, flowing out. Flowing out where? So imagine it flowing out into your arms and legs. Your arms and legs are channels to the earth and the environment. And then all the organs in the lower part, right? The small intestines, like a sponge, released in relaxation, a spacious firming up and opening. In that opening, a flow from the stuff inside outwards towards our limbs. From shoulders flow out to our arms, from pelvis flow out to our legs. Large intestines, and your reproductive, your private organs, all release and open and outflowing. And we bring that awareness to the middle portion. So you move your hands up now to your waist area. Just now you're more or less at the pelvic area. Now you're at the waist area. You can put one hand in front, one hand at the back. So you are thinking of your kidneys as well, right? One hand can be at the back. So also now remember your kidneys. And like a sponge releasing out. And don't feel that you got to stand very stock still, right? Be aware. Remember that awareness that Jolie has given us. You will start to feel tense and tight anywhere. Just shift your weight around. Wriggle your toes. Feel free to sway around in the air. But remembering your organs and fully released. And in the release, firmness. Firming up. And in the firming up, spaciousness. And outflowing, connecting from your organs to your limbs. Stomach, liver and gall, spleen, pancreas, kidneys. And then finally, bringing to the heart and lungs. Do not let yourself fall asleep. Remember, this is the calm alertness in the mind. It's not drifting off. Heart and lungs, feel the warmth of your own hands against the heart and lungs. Let this warmth flow in. And again, remember, release. In the release, an expansiveness. In the expansiveness, a firming up, not the collapsing, not the weakening, but a firming up. And in the firming up, like a sponge, spaciousness within, all the cells, all the space between the cells of your organs. And from the spaciousness, from the opening up, outflow. And mentally guide this flow to your arms and your legs, reaching your hands and your feet. Very good. Now we're just going to repeat this again and build on to the last part, which is direct dynamic clearance. What do? Very simple. This time we want what's been flowing up to arms and legs already to actually release out, shake out, okay? So a very simple exercise. We're going to be very systematic in our out clearance and shaking, thinking through your pelvis, your knees, your ankles and your toes. So essentially the movable joints in your limbs, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrist, the palm, the fingers, okay? So let's just get a sense of connection to them first, shall we? Okay? So shoulders, just shake out and make sure you're moving your shoulders. A lot of us move like that and don't realize we're not really moving that joint. Shoulders and now elbows. The focus is now your elbows. Very good. And wrist, palms, and finally fingers. Very good. And spread your legs out slightly. And now think about pelvis, okay? And now the shaking is mainly pelvis. Pelvic shake. Don't care how it looks like on TV. Just shake it. Pelvis, that's right. And now think of your knees, loose inside and shaking. That's right. And mentally shift to your ankles and your toes. Toes, toes. Very good. And now we are going to do one arm, okay? Just one side of our body, choosing the right. From our chest, shake out to shoulders. Just one side, shoulders. And imagine this water just flowing out to elbows. That's right. And then to wrists, and then to palms, and then finally to your fingers. Very good. And the other side to your shoulders, right? Something flowing out from shoulders to elbows, to wrists, to palm and fingers, and clear it out, shake it out. Think of air, just literally shake it out from you. Very good. And similarly, let's try for the legs. Imagine something outflowing from your pelvic area to the right pelvis. Just the right pelvis shaking loose, and then think of it flowing out to the knee, to the knee, to the knee, to the knee. That's right, to the knee, and then to the ankles, toes, and then just clear it out into the air. Very good. Clear out the air, let it be recycled back to nature. Very good. And then the other part, again, just think of something from here outflowing out to your pelvis. Pelvis, loosen the pelvis inside. That's right. And then elbows, knees. And then finally ankles. And kicking it out through your toes. And let it be recycled back to nature. Very good. And now we'll do the whole, okay? So imagining, okay, bringing your attention back to the lower portion organs again, bladder, intestines, small and large, kidneys if you wish, and your private organs. And then we'll go for the nearest one, which is the legs. And then just think of whatever is inside there outflowing out, and shake out both pelvis, knees, ankles, feet, toes, clearing into the earth, and then through the right. Again, from inside there, second round, clearing out to your right side, right pelvis, right ankles, right knees, ankles, feet, toes. And the last time, again, bring your awareness back to the lower organs. And again, think of them release, outflowing out your left pelvis, left knees, left ankles. That's right, Jolie. And left toes, and let it out into the space. Very good. And middle organs, we will try to be coordinated. That is for the middle organs. We think of these energies go shoulders and pelvis at the same time, okay? So think of your middle organs, your stomach, liver, gallbladder. Am I correct? Stomach, liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas. And think of whatever is inside, clearing out to the shoulders and pelvis. That's right, that's excellent, Jolie. And like water shaking out through straws, shoulders and pelvis together. Shoulders and pelvis in your mind. Elbows and knees in your mind. Ankles, toes, wrist, fingers. Very good. One more time from your middle organs, a sense of release, in the release opening, in the opening outflow, and rigorously shaking them out. Shoulders, pelvis, elbows, knees, ankles, wrists, fingers, toes, and release it out into the space, okay? Now, it is important to know that when we are talking about, when we say negative, or stuff kept inside, it's just in relation to us. So when you shake out these things, do not think that you're giving out bad qi. There's often this misconception in Qigong where people say we bring in good energy and we give out bad energy. But why do you want to give out bad energy to the environment, right? So it is just what it is no longer useful for me. I let it clear out and let that be recycled back to nature. Okay? So it's important to not think I'm taking in good energy and I'm giving out bad energy. Think too that I'm also giving out energy that will be useful. When it gets recycled, it's useful. Okay? So let's do that for the heart and lungs. How we think changes the energy. Okay? So again, heart and lungs, whatever is kept inside there that is not useful for you, release it out again to your shoulders. And from shoulders, rigorously shake out shoulders, elbows, wrists, palms, and just let it be recycled out back to the space, back to the environment. Okay, so that is what I can share for today. I think that what I'm trying to do was to, shall we sit? was to build on the wonderful awareness work that Jolie gave us just now. And then that prana work, and from then build on to the working on the qi that is in our body every day. And just to recap, remembering two things about this qi. Number one is acknowledging the organs, acknowledging that you have a bladder, you have a spleen, you have a pancreas, and acknowledging that every day of our lives, these organs have been doing things for us. This acknowledgement per se empowers them, gives them energy. Secondly, acknowledging that every day they are taking stresses. So we are working to just clear out this stress, and again, thinking of this stress or whatever so-called bad energies that we are thinking of gathering every day, whether they're emotional or mental thoughts or just bad qi because we haven't been exercising. When we clear them out, remember to have that thought, just let this be recycled back to nature. Okay? Yeah. Jolie?
Yeah, I think I feel super rejuvenated.
That's great.
And it's so nice to actually, if you ever feel stuck, if you're stuck or you feel like tight or, the physically space of being stuck, not being able to travel or to go to spaces that you really want with your friends and family, that feeling of being stuck can be transferred into an energy or a qi or prana. That's what we are trying to share here. Life need not to be restricted. Life can be free right here, right now, with a very clear mental state. Learning to release the emotional state of negativity that does not serve any purpose, and you have to be very intelligent, or you have to spy with your perception that it's not useful. Whatever probably over worrying or overdoing something, over protecting, over holding or over clenching, it can be an imbalance. And what qi so beautifully talks about the returning of the qi to nature itself. It's like what Rumi says, everything that you want is in the universe, and the universe is also within us. So this is the time where we should be using prana and qi a lot better, because once we understand how these could be more productive in our body, in our mental state, in our emotional being as humans, then we can not just feel afraid or restricted, but we can learn to let go of that restrictions in our mind, whatever rules that are made from the man, from human, but also relate it back to every being in the universe, every tree, every plant that you are eating, or any food that you're eating. You can also have more awareness and you enjoy the art of living.
I think that covers quite a fair bit, Jolie. Yeah. I think what I can, how to say, in a way, what I like to leave as a last thought is that we have very practical worries, futures, jobs, next paycheck. These are real worries. These are not issues that we can wish away just by putting ourselves in a mentally nice state. That's not what we're saying. But real issues that you're facing and how you deal with them emotionally are different things. So a lot of us deal with real issues in an unnecessarily emotional way, letting the worries, the depression, the anxiety, the fear, and then sometimes the suspicion of each other gather. This then blocks us in actually finding real solutions. And like Jolie says, this becomes a kind of an over worry. The problem might be at level 5, and what we emotionally feed into it turns the problem into a level 10. So this exercise, these little tips that we give you will not solve your problems. It will not bring you your next paycheck. Well, you never know. The universe works in very strange ways. But from your outside eye, you might not see that it will bring you your next paycheck. But if you do this for yourself every day, it can help you clear your mind a little bit, release whatever is stuck in your body that prepares you for the longer battle and for the longer journey that you need during these very difficult times. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so
much. Thank you,
much,
Jolie. Thank you.
Shifu.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. We hope you gain enough insight of what Qi and Prana is, and it's very, very on the surface. Could we say that?
Yeah,
because
it's a short session.
Yeah, there's a lot more to what Shifu does and myself as well. So thank you so much for watching this. We hope that you have a wonderful day ahead.